a prospect, and the first one I do is Corey Kiner, running back from Roger Bacon High School, who has committed to LSU. Tremendous running back out of the backfield, straight ahead guy, tough guy, and but the interview was really as good as his ability, football wise. Corey is going to, I think, mentioned LSU. He was Mr. Football in Ohio, and I found out last night he's a class act. So pay attention, listen if you want to Corey Kiner, and I will tell you that if you're expecting to talk about recruiting, I don't do that. I mean, as far as schools and whys and all this stuff, that's not the whole purpose. And after a while, I will stop saying this, but I want to make sure that I don't disappoint you. You have a great day. You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the first time for me I've ever done this with a football player. It's my first year I've done it, and I want to introduce you to Corey Kiner. Is it Kiner or Kinner?
Yes, sir. Kiner.
Okay. Like I said, he is one of the first guys. I saw him play as a sophomore, and I liked him. And I'll see him play hopefully at LSU. Corey, who's your favorite pro or college athlete?
My favorite NFL running back is Todd Gurley, but my favorite NFL player is Tyrann Mathieu.
Okay, where's Tyrann Mathieu play?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, that's right. No, I knew that. Heaven's sakes. Okay, and then I'll ask you, how tall are you now? I hear all these things. A solid 5'9" every day, or maybe 5'10"? We're good.
5'9", 5'10".
I'm just messing with you. I looked at your highlight films today. Okay, so I'll be messing with you a little bit. No, you do a good job, and you got to get that final burst a little bit better. But one thing you do as a running back is you're always working upfield. I don't know if you know that. You're not sprinting to the sidelines, and anytime, that's a good sign. Another little thing you do is you change the ball over. And I think that's real, those are what you look for in running backs and stuff like that. And you got, one more thing, and then we'll go back, because I like to get off the subject. The other thing you do, besides cutting, you run with your chest over your knees. I don't know if you ever noticed, but you're always running and you got your chest over your knees. Okay, let's talk about you. Now, I'm sorry. Corey, I always say, what are words you live by? What's your attitude? What do you like? For me, I'm 72 years old, but I'm still like to drive. I'm driven. I want to be the best. What words do you think about?
Family first. That's kind of my motto. So anything that I can do to help my family, whether it's my football team, whether it's my friends, or my biological family, whatever I can do to help them and put my family in the best situation, I'm gonna do it.
That's really good. That's called teamwork too, I think. Even with family and everything else, and you got to get along. Speaking of that, who has influenced you as a student, as a football player, as a person? Who do you look back? Let's just talk as a person. Who's really influenced you?
My father.
Your father?
Yes, sir.
What has he done to influence you?
Just teaching me how to be a man. From since I was a little kid up to now, everything that I've learned about being a man has come from him.
That's really good. That's really good. What about as a football player?
As you mentioned, me switching the ball back and forth, my father taught me that at a real young age, about 6 or 7. He taught me that.
Well, it's really good. I get carried away because, I spent 25 years evaluating players, and there are little things you look for. Your video's pretty good. And I would tell you one more. You keep your feet moving. Now, you're going to have to be tougher than heck, because you're not going to be running down the field 80-yard touch. You might if you get faster, but you're tough. Don't worry. I have a lot of respect for you. And I've also did some research. I really respect your work ethic and then just how you compete on the field. Okay.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, what bugs you the most? What bugs you as a person?
Not doing something 100%. So whenever I do something, I try to do it at 100%. Try to give it my best. And when people don't do that, then that kind of bugs me.
It kind of bugs you a little bit. Well, I think you're a leader enough that I hope you are, that you can get guys, give them a little whisper sometimes, not necessarily get in their face, but let them know that they got to work harder. That's really good. When you're bored, what do you do? When you're bored?
Play video games or work out.
And work out?
Yes, sir.
That's really good. You work out, you do a lot of lifting or speed work or both?
Both.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, really keep working on that core. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Did you have any game day ritual? Anything you do before games? That's kind of a silly one, but sometimes guys do crazy things. Is there anything you do?
Yes, sir. Every Thursday evening before a game day or Friday evening, I get home from practice, do my homework, eat dinner, take shower, and then I put on my football gear, and then I sleep in it, like my padded shirt, my tights that I wear under my pants, my football socks. I sleep in it, and then I go to school in it on Fridays, and then I play in it on Friday evenings.
That may be a good ritual that I've not heard of before. No, that's really good. That's really neat, I think. We talked about your dad a little bit, but let's don't include him. Who would you like to trade places with just one day? It can be anybody. It can be an athlete. It can be anybody. You can't use your dad or mom. Now, because we know you love those guys. Who would you trade positions with for one day?
LeBron James.
Okay. Enough. LeBron James, why?
That's my idol. I look up to LeBron James, not just as an athlete, but as a person. Try to copy what he does.
I'm going to tell you something about LeBron James. I've done this a long time. We were in Cleveland, and Troy Smith was there. Troy had played Ohio State, and I knew him pretty well. And LeBron came to the game. It was a high school game, and Troy introduced me to him. I mean, now we didn't, I'm going to tell you we had a big, long conversation, but he might be the biggest athlete I've ever seen. My goodness, he's huge.
Yes,
I mean, he's huge. Huge, Corey. That's really good. I have just couple more questions. What talent, this is kind of a crazy one. What talent would you like to have that you don't have now? What would you like to be able to do that you don't do now? Like play an instrument, dance, fly an airplane. What would be something you'd like to do? We'll come back.
I want to learn how to play the piano.
Okay, that's really good. That's
piano.
Good.
I want to learn how to play piano.
Are you close? Yes, are you? That's really good. That's neat.
Could you?
Okay. What? What'd you say? Oh, I thought you said something.
I couldn't.
Okay. Go ahead. You got the floor.
I didn't say anything.
Okay.
It kind of broke.
Okay, we're good. You've done a really good job, and you're smart. You're better at this than I am, I think. Okay, what's your biggest? Now, be careful. What's your biggest strength as a football player?
I would say that I'm a team player. That's my biggest strength. That I will do what it takes, do my part, or whatever's asked of me to help the team win.
Okay, that's good. What about the one?
Because I feel like that I could do a little bit of everything, but whatever is asked of me.
Okay, what do you have to work on? It's not necessarily a weakness, but what's one of the things you have to work on?
Like you said, top end speed. I was fast enough in high school, but high school isn't gonna cut it. So I got to work on my top end speed to be fast enough in college.
Yeah, yeah. You do a good job you got a really good vision too. By the way, when you're making the shift to stop and go, and that's. But you'll get stronger, and obviously, I don't say this in a negative way. You better have better coaches there than you do in high. I mean, your guys are going to coach you up like crazy and things like that. Okay, what advice would you give to a freshman? This year, when you leave, what are you going to tell a freshman?
Be patient. I tell the freshmen every time they step foot in the weight room, the Great Wall of China wasn't built in one day, because a lot of guys see me and they think that success just came like this, but they didn't see the nights where I was putting in extra work after practice, or body was aching after a workout. Like, they just see the success. So I want them to understand that it's gonna come. It might come, but you just have to put in the work.
You got it. They all want that instant success. Okay, what advice would you tell a prospect that's getting recruited by Division I schools? What would you tell a guy?
Basically, every time you're getting recruited, it's like a job interview. So you gotta watch what you're doing 24/7. You gotta make sure that you're putting the.
Okay, so you're cutting out on me a little bit. There you go.
I'm sorry, could you repeat yourself?
No, I like the thing about the job
Yes,
interview.
sir.
Now I'll tell you what, I used to,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna have to hire you someday. You got some good answers, but the other thing with that is it's like it's a gradual thing. When they start recruiting you and stuff, and it's gotta be good. It's gotta be a job interview. Sounds good. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What I ask you that. Okay, let's talk about recruiting just a little bit, and we're gonna finish up. What's your thoughts? What's the hardest part about recruiting? Football recruiting, Corey?
The hardest part about recruiting, the hardest part is you're gonna find multiple schools that you like and that you build great relationships with coaches and staff members. But the hardest part is telling schools no and picking one. That was my hardest part, or that was the hardest to me. I had good relationships with multiple schools, and I saw myself at multiple schools, but I had to really eliminate football out the equation and think, would I be happy at that school without football? So,
well, I agree totally. And the thing is, I've always thought, you just know the right fit. Go to these other schools and stuff, whatever school you go to, and there'll be one that you remember, one that you jump out at. You know what I'm saying? It jumps out at you. And that's really good. Hardest part saying no. I would tell you also that it's a job for those guys. So their cars, they're going to try to sell you. And, so you can feel bad, but you're okay. Corey, anything else you want to add? I really appreciate the conversation. You've helped me. I want kids to learn from you. Okay. This, I could ask you all those silly questions like why LSU, why not the great Ohio State, why not Indiana close to home, or I could ask you how your visits went. I don't care about that. Okay. I care about you as a person, and you've really helped us a lot here today. Okay. Any closing words? Any final words from you?
Just
okay.
Keep working on your craft.
Go ahead.
Keep trying to get better. Keep working on your craft and keep trying to be a better person.
You're good. You're very articulate for a young man. Thank you very much, and I'll get this done tomorrow. Okay.
Thanks, yes, sir.
Corey.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.